Welcome to the shadows of haunted and historic Adams County, a place where history, folklore, and hauntings intertwine. Today we visit the old jail and courthouse of West Union, where silence dwells deep within the upper hallways. The building settles into evening, its bricks still warm from the day's sun. The old brick glows like a cooling wood stove in the dying light. Reach out, and you can feel the pulse of history beneath your fingers. The October air turns sharp, fogging the breath of those who linger. Windows reflect only streetlights and the shadow of a lone observer. The quiet deepens into a heavy listening stillness. Upstairs, the darkness takes hold, lit only by the faint moon. It feels like a hallway that remembers every face that has ever passed. A figure in white drifts past the doorways without a sound, moving as if checking on business left unfinished a century ago. The very nature of the silence changes as the figure passes by. The courthouse holds its breath after the final office doors close. The last car pulls away, leaving the gravel lot in total solitude. It stands alone under the vast, cold September sky. The old entrance remains framed in growing shadows. Courtroom windows reflect nothing but the void of the night. A clerk walks the halls late, long after the workday is done. They pause, sensing a sudden, heavy shift in the atmosphere. Footsteps begin to pace overhead, where no one should be, searching for the source of a sound that shouldn't exist. The hallway seems to stretch longer, becoming impossibly empty. A door resists, held shut by something other than a lock. The clerk steps back, the air growing colder by the second. 10 minutes later, that same door swings open all on its own. Watched by invisible eyes, the clerk is filled with unease. In the 1800s, this was a vital crossroads in the wilderness. West Union was once surrounded by more forest than farm. The first log courthouse was lost to a devastating nighttime fire. Townspeople watched decades of deeds and dockets turn to ash. But the county was determined to rise again from the ruins. The new brick courthouse rose with square-shouldered dignity. Masons laid brick meant to withstand the test of generations. The jail wing was added, a somber companion to the courts. A circuit judge would ride into town once a month on horseback. Prisoners spent weeks in the dark, waiting for their day in court. A man could sit for 30 days just waiting for the gavel to fall. The interior was a cold fortress of stone and iron. Winter cold would creep through the thick, unforgiving walls. The jailer's family lived in quarters just steps from the cells, checking the locks by the dim, flickering glow of a lamp. Upstairs, the courthouse hosted trials that packed the gallery. The whole town would gather to hear the details of a murder. Justice was final, often carried out right on these grounds. The county gathered in a heavy, somber silence. Today, the records room holds the echoes of those days. File cabinets and old dockets rest under dim fluorescent lights. The air in this room feels like it's holding its breath. Entering this room after dark is a different experience entirely. The stillness presses in on you, thick and undeniable. Suddenly, the temperature drops until you can see your breath. A window stands wide open, though it was locked tight moments ago. Papers rustle and fly as a cold draft sweeps through the room. The clerk backs out slowly, leaving the ghosts to their records. The white-robed figure appears again, moving with calm intent, illuminated only by the faint silver glow of the moon. It moves through the hallway like a dedicated night watchman. The high ceilings and old woodwork echo with its presence, performing a duty that has become a permanent habit. The clerk watches, paralyzed, from the far end of the hall. And then, as quickly as it appeared, it fades into the dimness. The footsteps resume, heavy and rhythmic, right above your head. These aren't the sounds of a building settling, these are steps. The courthouse doors were built to be heavy and solid. Yet one door refuses to stay latched night after night. Maintenance replaces the hardware, but the issue remains. During the day, the door behaves perfectly normal. But once the sun sets, the resistance begins again. The stairwell connects the living world to the upper hallway. Shadows move against the light, cast by no one. A low shape slips out of sight just as you turn your head. The custodian stops mid-step, the hair on their neck standing up. A shadow moves like an animal, but there is no animal there. Deep in the basement, the mechanical systems hum in the dark. Flashlight beams sweep across the old, damp stone. A figure is glimpsed just at the edge of the light. But when the light returns, there is only empty space. In the 1970s, the mystery took a new turn. Silent lights were seen hovering directly over the roof. Townspeople watched them drift slowly toward the ridgeline. They winked out of existence without making a single sound. Old-timers linked the lights to the figure in the hallway. The courthouse is a place where strangeness simply gathers. It has absorbed decades of trials, grief, and long waiting, preserved through patchwork repairs and loving restorations. It has stood through every generation of county life, holding on to memories it was never asked to keep. Back in the upper hallway, the brick remains warm. The air feels watched, attentive but not hostile. The moment after the light goes out is the most intense. The hallway behind you falls into the deep dark. A sense of company lingers in the heavy stillness. The courthouse keeps its eternal, quiet watch. Looking down the hallway one last time. The figure stands there, motionless, watching you leave. Until finally the image fades and the courthouse sleeps. Read more in Haunted and Historic Adams County by Mark H. Rowe. Visit www.markhrowe.com.